Hello, good morning, friends. How are y'all doing today? Happy Friday. It is Friday. I will be sharing some shadow work prompts for all of my Substack subscribers later on today. Also, be on alert that Chiron stations retrograde today, okay? So, a lot of revisiting old wounds, a lot of digging things up, okay? So, if you start to feel triggered from now to the end of the year, just know that these things are coming up so that we can work on them, heal them, move through them, all of those things. Kind of like usual, except it's going to be magnified and amplified. Because this retrograde is happening in the sign of Aries, we can look to the house that Aries rules in our chart to kind of see a little bit more about that. So take a peek at your chart and see what house Aries rules to kind of take a peek at what Chiron's going to be bringing up for you. Anyway, let's get into our Hey Witch card, okay? So our prompt for today from my Fun in the Sun prompts is, what chaos can we avoid simply by adding a bit of joy to our lives? And this is in no way trying to minimize any kind of chaos that we might be experiencing, okay? This is just to kind of try to help us move through that chaos, okay? Total disclaimer, feel what you gotta feel, but, adding a little bit of joy might make things a little bit easier. And we have a whole pile, so let's get into it. Hey Witch, our first card is the Eight of Wands, okay? So the chaos that we can avoid just by adding a little bit of joy into our lives is the chaos of moving forward, moving on, being able to move on from the things that have happened, being able to move forward quickly, maybe even along our goals. So I totally understand that sometimes whenever we're working on a goal, we might think, oh, I gotta hurry up. I gotta hurry up and get there. And then we forget to have fun along the way. We forget what else is important to us, who else matters in our lives, all of those things. It's like we get a super narrow focus, which whenever we're working on a goal, that might feel really good, right? We're super focused, things like that, but we're not really tending the other pieces of ourselves. As we continue to move forward, we're going to have to rebalance and recenter on what's important for us, okay? So this is going to help us also rebalance our energy, all right? It's almost like whenever we get that narrow focus, whenever we're so focused just on our goals, we forget about everything else. As we continue to move forward, we need to be really focusing in on that balance, that equalization, that peace, okay? Being able to welcome that energy in for ourselves, even whenever things are pretty chaotic. And that can be really hard, right? When it feels like everything's falling apart, like how do we recenter? How do we stay in that peace place? And honestly, I feel like it has a lot to do with self-love. Being able to love ourselves through it, being able to remind ourselves of all the times that we've been in chaotic situations before and we made it through, all the times that we could have crumbled and we didn't. We can add in a bit of joy to help ourselves balance whenever we are in chaos, to help us rebuild a little foundation of being able to experience a little bit of joy as we continue through that chaos. But it's also about loving ourselves enough to show up for us through that chaos, to show up with the energy of, I will get through this. So how are you going to show up for yourself and this work today? How are you going to avoid the chaos of moving forward by sprinkling in just a little bit of joy and a little bit of self-love too? Let me know in the comments, and I'm sending you so much love because this one is not easy at all.